It's time to get moody, wistful, sad, and melancholy. Or even terrified. So let's take a look at some films that live on the flip side of all that holiday joy and cheer. Films that use the holiday season as a backdrop for the longing and yearning of unrequited love, the sadness of regret, and yes, even murder. So here are 5 not so happy holiday films. Black Christmas. It's 1974, and it's a snowy and cold Canadian December. As winter break begins, a group of sorority sisters preparing for the holiday deal with disinterested parents, boyfriend trouble, and some recurring anonymous and very dirty phone calls.
Hey, quiet! It's him again! The Mona!
When the calls go from dirty to threatening,
I'm going to kill you.
Things take a dark turn as one of the girls goes missing, and a local teenage girl is murdered. The sorority house becomes a death trap for the girls who live there. Olivia Hussey plays Jess, our final girl, and Margot Kidder as Barb gives a standout performance. She steals the movie. She's hilarious, vulgar, and bold. Inspired by the urban legend The Babysitter and the Man Upstairs and a series of real-life murders that took place in the Westmount neighborhood of Montreal in 1943, the horror of Black Christmas plays out against the backdrop of the joyful holiday season. The gruesome murders occur alongside twinkling Christmas lights and Christmas carolers. Directed by Bob Clark, the film has the distinction of being one of the earliest slasher films and is also praised for its influence on John Carpenter's Halloween. While dismissed upon its release in 1974, the film has undergone a critical reevaluation, with many naming it one of the best horror films ever. And with its surprising plot twist and a shock of an ending, it is worthy of that title.
On Christmas Eve, you may want to sleep with one eye open.
Carol. Directed by Todd Haynes, Carol is one of the most visually striking films of the last 20 years. Set in New York City at Christmas time, 1952, Haynes expertly recreates the look and feel of mid-century New York City. Rooney Mara plays Therese, an aspiring photographer who develops an intimate relationship with an older and wealthier woman named Carol, played by Cate Blanchett.
Therese Balavet. It's lovely.
The two women then must navigate that relationship through the oppressive and repressive era of the 1950s. And the world Carol recreates is as beautiful as it is melancholy. The movie feels authentic to its time and place, and as the setting moves across spaces as diverse as small pre-war apartments, wintry New York streets, department stores decked out for the holiday shoppers, and fancy suburban mansion holiday parties, it brings viewers into a lost world. Not 100% true, but also not 100% fantasy. Like looking at a long ago holiday postcard, one where the colors have faded, just like memories. All of this makes Carol the perfect film for a reflective and melancholy holiday viewing. Remember the Night. While the best-known pairing of Barbara Stanwyck and Fred MacMurray is in 1944's Double Indemnity, the 1940 holiday film Remember the Night, directed by Mitchell Leeson, was the first time these two appeared on screen together. Stanwyck stars as Lee Leander. She's caught stealing a bracelet from a New York City jewelry store. Not her first time, and when her case goes to trial, to avoid facing a jury filled with the holiday spirit, the DA, Jack Sargent, played by Fred MacMurray, has the trial postponed on a technicality.
And further request that a continuance be granted till after the Christmas holiday.
Feeling bad that Lee will spend the holiday in jail,
He thinks he's taking me to the Ritz. I hope you have a Merry Christmas.
pays her bail, but through a series of mishaps, he ends up taking her home with him to spend the holiday with his family in rural Indiana. As the two get to know each other, they develop a deeper connection, but always in the background is the knowledge that Lee will be facing prison for her crime.
Well, I think she's charming.
Yes, she is charming, Mother, but unfortunately she's a crook. When we get back to New York, I'm going to try to put her in jail.
Remember the Night is a poignant tale where the holiday season brings two people together, but the sins of the past put the brakes on any potential true love. Stanwyck's Lee is at first hard-boiled and cynical.
One of these days, one of you boys is going to start one of these scenes differently. One of us girls is going to drop dead from surprise.
No doubt.
But as she spends time with Jack's family, she softens, and the small-town holiday reprieve allows her a chance to reevaluate her life with the promise to do things differently.
My child, why do you want to plead guilty?
Because I am guilty. When you make a mistake, you've got to pay for it.
The film's screenplay by the great Preston Sturges is clever, honest, and at times sentimental without being saccharine. And while the two may dream of a future together, the film's bittersweet ending hints that it sadly may not happen. 8 Women. Set in the 1950s in a large French country estate just days before Christmas, 8 Women starts off like a whodunit murder mystery. When the master of the house is found dead in his bed, his wife, his sister, his daughters, the household servants, along with both his mother-in-law and sister-in-law, are all suspects. These 8 women find themselves trapped on the property with the dead body, and over a course of a long day and night, secrets, lies, and truths are revealed. Catherine Deneuve, Isabelle Huppert, and Danielle Derrieux headline an ensemble cast in this Technicolor-inspired mix of musical, farce, and melodrama, directed by François Ozon, that references Hollywood's golden age and the films of Douglas Sirk, Alfred Hitchcock, and Vincent Minnelli. And from its production design to its wardrobe, 8 Women nails its 1950s aesthetic. And as the snow falls outside, Christmas becomes the furthest thing from anyone's mind as women try to flush out the murderess among them. But in the process, they reveal tragic hidden truths.
Pas des horreurs, ma chérie. C'est la vérité.
Isabelle Huppert is the scene stealer here. She has the unglamorous role of the unlikable Aunt Augustine.
Une appelle livre abominable et romans policiers d'espionnage et d'aventure.
Vous me regardez mourir? Vous allez me laisser crever comme un chat des rues? Oui, vas-tu prendre? Je vais t'atouer! Mais ça m'est également fou!
She puts the capital D in this family's dysfunction, but when the crime is finally solved, it brings no joy or comfort to anyone.
Christmas Holiday. This one is definitely more obscure, and it won't be to everyone's liking, but it is notable for several reasons. First, its star Deanna Durbin, known for headlining musicals, rarely got the chance to display any dramatic chops, which she gets to flex in Christmas Holiday. And her co-star in this is Gene Kelly. He plays her feckless criminal husband. He gets to show his dark and sinister side in an early non-musical role. Directed by Robert Siodmak, Christmas Holiday is a surprisingly bleak tale set in wartime New Orleans. Durbin stars as Jackie Lamont.
Jackie's the star of our little entertainment.
A hostess at the Maison Lafitte. During a stormy winter night, she's introduced to an Army officer, Lieutenant Charles Mason, whose flight to San Francisco has been delayed due to the weather. They spend the evening together, and between Christmas Mass and nightclub visits, she tells the story of her tragic marriage to the charming but unstable Robert Minette, played by Gene Kelly. Robert is serving a life sentence for killing a bookie, and Jackie has become a hostess in order to survive. But she's never stopped carrying the torch for her husband, and that's what makes the film's finale so brutal. It thrusts a knife so deep into Jackie's heart that Christmas Holiday's bleak ending will kill any of the holiday spirit you have left. There are 8 million stories in the cinema cities. This has been one.